Hey bloggers, it's Kelly. It's day 2 of the 25 Lives live stream marathon, and today we're going to be covering step 2 on my bangin' blog post checklist, which is how to find keywords that are gold, baby, gold. So this is the checklist. If you haven't gotten it yet, it's free on Blogfiti. I linked to it in the description below. So first thing I want to talk to you guys about is SEO and its image problem. So before we dive into keyword research, let's talk about this. So yesterday we talked about how to find blog post topics, like how to generate the idea in the first place. Today, we are going to vet them out using keyword research. And a lot of bloggers are afraid of keyword research. They are afraid of SEO. It has a real image problem in the blogger world. And I don't really think it's founded. I think it's a lot of hype. I understand that SEO is a really complex subject, but I will tell you guys, I am not an SEO expert. I learned enough to make SEO work for me. So I feel like I have a firm grasp on what on-page SEO is, which is, when you SEO your blog post. I feel like I have a firm grasp on it, but I'm not an expert. And I don't think you have to be an SEO expert to make it work for you. I think that's where a lot of bloggers get tripped up and scared. It has this rep for being this huge, complex, ununderstandable thing in the blogging community, and that is not true. I promise you guys, you can understand and wield SEO. I promise. So that's what I want to say about that. If you want to learn SEO from an expert, take Mike Pearson's course, Stupid Simple SEO. It's the best out there. I've also linked to that in the description. Okay, so now that I've said my spiel about SEO, let's talk about how to vet out our blog post ideas that we came up with yesterday using Ubersuggest. I will go over, Annie asked about the best keyword research tools out there. I will go over them later, but for today's purpose, I'm going to use Ubersuggest. It's a good tool, and I'll talk about why. So I'm not signed in. I pay for the pro version of Ubersuggest, but for today's purposes, we are going to use the free version. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. All right, so here we are at the free version of Ubersuggest, and we are going to use it to take the ideas we came up with in step 1, picking a blog post topic, and making sure that 1, it's something we can actually rank for, and 2, it actually is something people want to read, because thus far we're just kind of going on hunches from research we did in various platforms yesterday. Jen had a lot of questions about this, and Jen, I know you write a lot about the throat chakra. It's super woo-woo. I love talking about chakras. So we're going to use that as our example keyword. So we're going to type in throat chakra. You can see I kind of played with this a little bit this morning. So we just head over to Ubersuggest, which I linked in the description, and we type in our blog post topic that we're thinking about writing about, and we click search. We're going to get the monthly search volume, the SEO difficulty, paid difficulty, cost per click. Of course, they want you to sign up 1,000 times. So what we're looking for here is something that has a decent search volume. That's right here. And a low SEO difficulty score, especially if you are a new blogger. Your blog does not have a high domain authority score. So here you can see that Neil, this is Neil Patel's face, says the average web page that ranks in the top 10 for this keyword has 46 backlinks, which actually, and that is a lot. That's a good amount, but some keywords have like 250,000 backlinks or some crazy number. Anyway, and a domain score of 72. 72 is a really high domain score. If you don't know your domain score, you can get it for free at moz.com. And I link to that in the description too. With the free plan with Moz, you get like 10 searches a month, and you can use it to check your domain score once a month is a good frequency at which to check your domain score. If you're wondering what this number means here, 41, that's kind of hard, especially for new people with a low domain score. So pretty much 0 to 10 is easy, 11 to 30 is medium, 31 to 70 is hard, and 70 and plus is like really hard. Don't do it. I did link to another search difficulty chart in my video description, and it has a little bit more detailed breakdown. You can see that 41 might not be the best choice. So what I would do if I was thinking about writing this throat chakra and about the throat chakra and I didn't have a very high domain score, I might scroll down here to keyword ideas and look for something that still has a decent search volume. This one has a search volume, and this is monthly, search volume of 1,000, which is great. I mean, I would take 1,000 a month, wouldn't you? And a search difficulty of 14. That is great. So I might choose to write about throat chakra affirmations. And if we click on that, Neil Patel is going to give us a whole bunch of information on it that will help us further vet this idea out. Keyword overview for throat chakra affirmations. It's going to tell us that the average web page that ranks in the top 10 has 5 backlinks and a domain score of 50. Here you can see the top pages. So looks like if you keep scrolling down, they want you to be a paid member. But look, you get what you need. You get page 1, right? And that's where you want to be. Look at this. It estimates that they get 303 visits per month, the #1 position for this keyword, and they have 0 backlinks, and they have a domain score of 2. So I would say that you could definitely rank for this, right? And then look at the number 2 and 3 spots. I think that this throat chakra affirmations would be a really easy one to rank for as a new blogger. So that is it. I mean, it's that easy. When you are thinking about writing a blog post topic and you have your list of topics, just taking a couple minutes to make sure that you are targeting the right keyword can make a huge difference. Because if you were just going to go ahead and write that article keywording for throat chakra, you might not be able to rank. And it feels really defeating in the beginning when you are playing to an empty room, right? The sooner you can get traffic on your website and people interacting with you and like commenting on your things and actually reading the stuff that you spent hours and hours writing, the better. Like, it's a big morale booster, right? On top of all the other benefits. Okay, so we have vetted out this throat chakra affirmations keyword, right? What I want to say to you guys, I want to give you guys a little caveat when it comes to this. What I want to say to you guys is that if you have a keyword, a topic that you feel super strongly about and you feel really lit up inside and you really want to write about it, and you have weighed the pros and cons, you know you might not rank in Google and you still want to write about it, I would do it. Don't dampen that fire, right? If you think your audience needs to hear it and you have another marketing plan for it, I would do it. You could market it on Pinterest. If you have an email list, you could market it to them. If you are like fired up about it and you really want to write about it and you think it could help your audience, I would just do it anyway. Who knows, you know? And then as you build your domain authority, maybe later it will rank. That's what I think. So Cherie asked how to do competitor keyword research, which is a really great question. So again, we are going to piggyback on this throat chakra affirmations. All right, so under the traffic analyzer over here on the left-hand side, we're going to go over to top pages. This is one I was looking at earlier. Oh, looks like we have reached the limit of what we can do with the free version of Ubersuggest. I guess we're going to dive into the various keyword research tool options early so we can talk about this a little bit and why I recommend Ubersuggest. So in my Bang & blog post checklist, I have a little chart that compares the keyword research tools by cost, whether or not they're newbie friendly, the complexity of the reporting capabilities. So like what you can do, you know, and then how hard it is to learn. And I just did Ubersuggest, Ahrefs, Moz, and SEM Rush because those are the ones that I'm familiar with. I have used the free versions of, I've used the trial and free versions of Ahrefs, Moz, and SEM Rush, and I pay for Ubersuggest. And you can see Ubersuggest is like $29 a month, and the rest are at least $99 a month. So first hurdle there, especially for a new blogger, is the cost, right? And then the next hurdle would be the complexity of them. How easy are they to learn? Because when you're a new blogger, you are already learning how to build a website, learning online marketing, learning how to write copy, learning how to write content, SEO, you're learning enough stuff, right? You just need something that is going to take you where you need to go in the simplest form possible. So that is why I recommend Ubersuggest for new bloggers. Back to my Bang and blog post checklist blog post. Underneath this keyword research tool chart, I have a list of research resources for learning each keyword research tool. So Ubersuggest, Ahrefs, Moz, and SEM Rush. And Neil Patel also has a lot of really wonderful videos on his YouTube channel about how to use Ubersuggest. So we were going to talk about competitor keyword research. We're going to check out, how about Wellness Mama? Okay, so let's say that Wellness Mama is one of your competitors and you want to know what they are ranking for. So you go over to Traffic Analyzer, you go into top pages, and then you type in their URL. Here we can see that their top page is homemade sugar scrub recipe, and it estimates that they get about 19,000 views per month for this recipe. Wow, that's great. Good for them. Here you can see exactly what your competitors are ranking for. It's probably pretty easy to figure out exact keyword. Here it could be sugar scrub recipe, or it could be the long tail keyword of homemade sugar scrub recipe, right? It could be both, which is something we're going to talk about in a minute. Homemade bug spray recipes that work. Ooh, see what they're doing there with their title? So this is their keyword, homemade bug spray recipes, and then they're giving it this little extra sexy oomph that work, right? Because chances are their clients or their readers have tried homemade bug spray recipes before that just didn't work. So here they're kind of acknowledging that and blasting it out of the water with 2 extra little words. I love that. So that's how I would look up competitor keywords. Again, Ahrefs, Moz, all of them will do that, and they will provide way more data than Ubersuggest. In the beginning, I don't think you need it, right? It's just going to be overwhelming. Those are great tools, maybe for later. The next question came from Crystal. I'm going to go ahead and hide this bad boy. The next question came from Crystal, and it was about keywords, similar keywords, and how similar is too similar. So she's wondering about choosing blog topics between 2 very similar keywords. And Crystal, forgive me, I don't remember the exact keywords you were asking about. They were like homeschooling moms and moms that homeschool or something like that. And so they were very, very similar. And this is actually called keyword cannibalization. I know that's a gross term, but it is what it is, right? That's what you have to watch out for. And what that is when you have 2 different blog posts, both competing against one another for the same keyword in Google. Keyword cannibalization. Yoast SEO, so it's a plugin, will tell you if you've already targeted a keyword before. And again, I wouldn't pay for the pro version of Yoast. I think the free version of Yoast is just fine. If you don't use it, I would definitely get Yoast installed. The alternative is Rank Math, but I've never used it. So when you scroll down to your target keyword area in Yoast, and you plop in your target keyword, if you have already targeted that keyword, Yoast will tell you. And this might seem like a no-brainer in the beginning and you have 10 posts, like of course you know. But as you get more and more posts, and I've done this, I put in a keyword one time and it was like, hey girl, you already did this. So it's a really handy tool. I'll show you what that looks like on the back end of a post in WordPress. Screen share, make me small. All right, so here you can see I'm in the back end of my blog post checklist blog post in WordPress, and I scroll down to the very bottom and it has my like Yoast SEO area, and you put in your focus key phrase. So this is going to be your keyword that you're targeting. And of course, I was targeting blog post checklist. If I typed this in and I had already targeted it, it would put like, I don't know, a red light or something there and be like, hey girl, no, don't do this. You're going to cannibalize. I found this really wonderful video. Like I said, I'm not an SEO expert. I know enough to get me by. And I wanted somebody to explain keyword cannibalization to you guys better than I could. So I found this really good video. I did link to it in the video description. It's by Surfside pay-per-click, Surfside PPC. And they did a really good job of explaining it in an easy to understand way, how to find out if you're doing it and then what to do about it. So it kind of, and it's like, it's just over 10 minutes. So it's really worth your time. I don't feel like I could on this live do this topic all the justice that needs to be done. So watch that video. But here's what it boils down to. If it's a subtopic of a topic, you're good. So Crystal responded, homeschool burnout and homeschool mom burnout. That one's tricky. It could be a subtopic. If it's a subtopic, you're good. If it's a synonym, you need to use your best judgment, because synonyms don't always necessarily mean that they're not a subtopic, right? So and this is a perfect example. Homeschool burnout and homeschool mom burnout. It could be a synonym, but it also could be a subtopic, right? So you need to use your best judgment. And what I would say is not to include that synonym in your blog post. So in your blog post about homeschool burnout, don't include the words homeschool mom burnout anywhere in there, because you can and should be trying to rank for multiple keywords in one post. And the only way for that to happen is for you to use those words in that post. So I would really caution you to not use the word mom in that post, or use it as little as possible. Maybe you could say, like, I don't know, a slang word like mama or something. If it's the same keyword, different post with a new year, don't do it. I don't want you to do that. Some posts you update on a yearly basis, and actually they talk about this. Surfside pay-per-click talks about this in their video. They use the example of like best SEO practices 2018, 2019, 2020. So what they were saying is, don't make that 3 different posts. Just go in each year and update the year and then update the post information, because otherwise the SEO best practices keyword is going to cannibalize itself. No muy bueno. If it's the same keyword with another keyword added on, you just have to be super, super careful. Okay, so we already talked about which keyword tool is best. That came from Annie. Thanks for the question, Annie. Okay, I think I covered what I wanted to today, how to take what we did yesterday and make sure that it's things that people are actually looking for. You know, there's actually a search volume for it, and that it's something you can actually rank for. So again, use a keyword research tool. You don't have to pay for the big bucks ones. Just use something to make sure that it is actually something that you can rank for. If you're on a really tight budget, maybe you could use the free versions of all of them. And once you run out of searches on one free one, switch over to the next, right? So we ran out of free searches on Ubersuggest today. Maybe then you could switch over to Moz. right? Tomorrow, we are going to talk about how to write blog posts with purpose. I'm not talking about like the existential type of purpose. I am talking about how to write blog posts that are going to get you somewhere. The idea is that you just want to have one. Right? Don't write it for no reason. If you guys are watching on the replay on like IGTV or YouTube, make sure to come join us in the group. You can ask your questions and get them answered, and you can interact in the chat. There's a link in the video description. Unless you guys have any other questions, I'm going to hop off of here. Here we go. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a good day. I will see you tomorrow, and we'll talk about how to write a blog post with purpose. Bye. That's it for today's edition of Blogging Thoughts with Kelly. Don't forget, if you want your blogging questions answered, you can join the free Facebook group using the description below. Also, feel free to share, follow me, subscribe, like, all the things so we can be blogging besties. Until next time, this is Kelly signing off.